Hello everyone, Danil's here. Today I'd like to make a little demo of the feature we've been working for the past almost 5 or 4 weeks with dev team, and this is a long-awaited crystal rotation on demand feature. So without further ado, let me get into the demo. It shows a page of all crystals I own. Let's say I'm not happy with particular one. Let's say this one, number 19. And currently on OpenSea, you can see the current rendering of it. And just for the demo purpose, I'm saying, well, I don't like this particular shape. So what I have to do on this site, I'm selecting the crystal, and it takes some time to load. And after that, it shows side by side what we have right now. So this is the rendered image. This is the 3D model, which, well, that's why it took so long, because we had to create 3D models for all 10,000 crystals in current generation. And not only models, but make the textures and everything seems very similar to what we have in a rendered image. And it's not very straightforward task because pre-rendered things and things you do in real time are completely different. So it took me almost, I don't know, 6 or 7 iterations of reworking on every single material we have in the collection to match the look as close as possible. But after we done it, so this is a rendered image, this is real time, and what we can do, we actually can rotate it and tilt and rotate the camera, and all the materials are there, and it looks very similar to what we have rendered. And just to give you some understanding, so this scene is rendered on render farm on high-end workstations we have there, and depending on generation, it takes between 1 minute to 5 minutes to render the image. This thing is real time. It means every single seconds it renders 30 to 60 times, so you can have these smooth rotations. So what I can do? Let's say I want to change the rotation a bit, and something like that looks good to me. I just want to remind you this is possible only once per generation. So this crystal hasn't been rotated yet, so that's why I can actually show it to you. But after I use this checkbox and press lock rotation and render button, it means it will go on the farm. New image will be rendered. It will go back to OpenSea and update the image. But after that, for this particular crystal, for this generation, this process will be locked. So next time you go in the same app and try to rotate this crystal, it wouldn't allow you. The only way for you to change the rotation of the camera again is to grow your crystal. So after it will get to generation 2, this feature will be unlocked again. So that's how it works to prevent too many tasks being pushed to our farm and basically our helmet. So it's once per generation. Just please keep it in mind, and that's why we have this additional checkbox, so you will clearly understand what are you doing. I had some questions about why don't we allowed to rotate the crystal using mouse. Obviously we can do that, but it wouldn't be so precise, and knowing that you spend so much time and effort and your resources to grow your crystal, we decided to give you very precise control on the camera angle. So that's why we have these sliders, and you can on granular basis set the exact angle you like. So let's say I like the current angle. I check the box and click lock rotation and render. So it says you send the crystal to the render farm. You'll see the result after it complete. Now in our backend, your new camera angle was stored, and a new task was created on the farm. It will take some time because the render farm might be busy or not. Depending on that, different time will be needed to update the scene. But after between 10 or 20 minutes or so, it probably should be fine. The only one thing to keep in mind is that now we have to generate both new 3D render and 3D model for each new generation, so it makes the farm a bit more busier than usual. But as I said, 10 to 20 minutes is the usual waiting time. Okay, so I just checked the backend and it showed me the task was already completed on render farm. I was lucky, so it took me only 5 minutes to do so. Let me check how the crystal world looks now. So as you may see, the camera angle was changed and it matches exactly what we have in our 3D model. I think it's a great achievement for us as a dev team, because not only we created dynamically changing NFTs in the system, but now we can do things that none of other collections could do, because we have a control, like you guys have a control on the look of your NFT. And it's not a minor thing, because you have this 3D model and you can change whatever camera angle is, and that will affect the final look of your model. And we spent a lot of time polishing the scene and making sure that corresponding 3D model will be as close in the look, as close as possible to the rendered image. So you'll have better understanding of what you will end up having after rotating. And it's interesting that exactly the same models will be used for AR feature later. So it's they will be reused. So it's basically a part of our future roadmap. To me, it looks gorgeous, and I'm very impressed how close we could get to the look of the rendered image. Obviously, it's a bit different because there are limitations. I cannot reproduce all the geometry details, all like refraction and subsurface materials. I can like go on with things I couldn't do because the real-time thing, it has to work on the phones. So obviously, no one wants to have their AR thing to show 1 frame per 5 minutes, right? So it has to be real time and it has to work on the current hardware. I had to simplify the geometry. I had to simplify the shaders and the mask behind them, but still I managed to get very close to the final look. And the team did an amazing job making all this work with blockchain and with backend almost seamless. So for you, it's just sliders and a couple clicks, and after that, it should be updated. And let's check the final step. So after you rotate it, let me get back to the crystal I've just updated. So the one over here. Let me check how it works, how it worked, and how it looks like on OpenSea right now. So this is the look we had before the rotation happened, and you probably already know that OpenSea is ridiculously slow with updating the caches. So we're trying to push these updates from our side, but in a lot of cases, OpenSea just ignores that. So we had to do these updates manually. And let me request this update for the metadata and image for this crystal, and update the page after that. So I'm doing refresh, and ta-da! It changed. So that's how it works. So now, from now on, this particular crystal, this NFT, will look like that. And me, and only me, was man who choose this particular look, and it goes for you too. So you will be responsible for how your crystals look, and it's up to you to decide, do you like the angle our system choose for a crystal, or you want to select something different. And now, if you wasn't happy about any particular angle, or for some reason the rarest part of the crystal was hidden by some other part, you can just open the scene, rotate, render, and lock, and that's how it works. I'm pretty happy about the results and can't wait to see what you guys will create out of your crystals. As a reminder, we have a deadline on December 31 for the growth. So after that, each transaction will not change the shape of the crystal, but we decided to keep this feature live for one more week after the lock. So even you cannot grow your crystals, you still can change the camera angle and lock it. But just keep in mind that it's a once in a generation thing. So after you choose your new angle, lock it and render, that's it. It will be the final look of your crystal, which will go to IPFS and will be stored for as long as Ethereum and IPFS will be live on this planet. And that's probably it. Thank you so much, and happy growing.